How are you? I just looked.
Couple seats here. We're going to get started in about 30 seconds.
I went somewhere else.
Are you recording?
So nice to see you. Thank you for being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on such short notice for this very important press conference. We're going to do things a little differently today. There's only 4 days left in this election. It is one of the most important elections in the history of Toronto. And we are here today to have one final opportunity to speak with George and to speak with leaders of the Chinese community and to urge all of you to come out and vote on election day on October 25th. I'm pleased to be able to be the MC here today. My name is Greg Wong, and my first duty today is to share the good news that as of today, we would like to welcome some of the key supporters from the Rocco Rossi campaign, starting with the co-chair of the campaign, Mr. Justin Boyd, and Howard Liu. And all of you know who is Howard. Without further ado, I'm going to let Justin say a few words.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out today. My name is Justin Foy. I'm here with Helen Liu, and we were both very involved with Rocco's campaign. I also want to acknowledge Yanis Stamatakos, who's standing in the corner there. He was director of outreach, and he's also come on board to join the George Smitherman campaign. We've joined because we wanted the best choice for mayor of Toronto, and a mayor that can work with the Chinese community. Someone that we trust and someone who respects our needs and our desires. We want a mayor that has a track record of communicating with us, unlike his major opponent, who has now been backtracking just to garner our vote. We deserve better. We need a mayor that can balance the budget, improve traffic and transit in the city, encourage multiculturalism, our culture, growth, education, and business opportunities. Someone who cares and has a compassion for new immigrants because he understands how important diversity is to our city. Someone who can improve the city's services without blowing the budget. I assessed my options when I was first asked to join the team when Rocco dropped out of the race. And you work hard for a candidate and a campaign, and then you feel a little bit orphaned and disappointed when it's over. And I want to just say that, you know, I'm very proud of the campaign we ran. But at the end of the day, we still have an election, and we still need to choose a mayor. After I took a careful look at what the candidates were offering, I decided that George Smitherman reflected what I would want to see in the next mayor of Toronto. This is a close race, but the differences between the candidates are very vast. And I believe that George Smitherman really is the right man to lead Toronto, and that includes us, the vibrant Chinese community. I want to leave you with a final message, because we are so close to Election Day. Please get out and vote. The Chinese community has strength in numbers to make or break an election. On October 25th, grab your friends, your family, and tell everybody to get out and vote for George Smitherman so we can welcome him as the new mayor of Toronto. Thank you.
Next, Howard Liu is going to say a few words in Mandarin.
各位朋友，大家好。大家都知道我是说国语的人，我相信今天在这个地方也有很多的朋友都是说国语的。我今天为什么会在这儿呢？刚才 Justin 已经讲过，我们两个都是co-chair，是帮 Rocco 的，因为他 Rocco 老师说，我们还是希望有一个好的mayor来帮我们。说在我们两个人很慎重的考虑之下，所以我们过来，希望带一点 message 给我们的朋友们，希望我们说国语的朋友们 尽量抽时间出来投票。当然，我也希望讲广东话的朋友们，就是所有的朋友，投票是一个光荣，我们有权投票，所以我们应该要尊重这个机会，我们能够在这里投票。我们要选出来我们自己的市长，让我们的市长来为我们大家做事。如果你牺牲了这个机会，选出来的那个人不是我们所要的，那受苦的还是我们大家，是我们普罗大众。我们为了我们自己，也为了我们所有的公民，我们希望大家把这个信息带出去。我们更希望所有的人能够借这个机会表现出来，我们中国人一定会投票。因为过去有很多人说中国人很少投票，我们希望这一次我们不要这样做。我们希望所有的传媒把这个消息也带出去，希望鼓励大家投票。投票是一个好事，是我们的责任，也是我们的光荣。我今天非常高兴，他们请我到这里来讲几句。我是一个不会讲话的人，我的消息只是说希望大家能够投票。谢谢各位。
Have today a very, very special guest, and that is one of our mayoral candidates who has now joined George Smitherman's campaign. We now have today representative from Rocco's campaign, representative from Sarah Thompson herself, and I'm going to let Sarah describe why she's here and helping getting Chinese community support.
Well, thank you. I decided to run for mayor because I wanted change in Toronto. I wanted the city to be great, and I knew we had more potential than we were realizing. And I decided to step down from mayor because I saw somebody who could lead the city forward, and that was George Smitherman. And when I looked at George, there were three issues that, for me, really made an impact. His view on transit, on expanding transit and moving the city forward. His view on diversity, that diversity can be an element of our success. And there's so much potential here in Toronto. We have creative people, we have entrepreneurs. George and I both share that view that these people need to be enabled. And the last is the economy. George has a balanced budget plan. It's fiscally responsible. It's the best out there today. So I hope on October 25th, we have 4 days away, we'll come together, as I did with George, and support him to become mayor of Toronto. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Francis Yen, who has been helping in George's campaign for the last 8 months, a strong supporter in the Chinese community. Francis?
Okay, so I would like to speak in Cantonese. 各位大家好，大家知道啦，係下星期一啦，10月25號啦，我哋將會選出一個新嘅多倫多市長。咁我哋對呢個新市長究竟有咩期望呢？我哋所需要呢位新嘅市長咧，應該具有世界觀、有遠見、有魄力、有能力同埋有經驗。同時，我哋需要呢個市長咧，佢有能力咧，同其他各方面咧，即係溝通，能夠致力去改革市政，決心向前邁進。我亦都需要呢一位市長咧，有一個切實可行嘅即係執行計劃啦，去消除市政嘅浪費，平衡預算，擴展交通服務，同時咧減少車輛嘅擠塞，亦都改善我哋即係市政。另外，我哋需要一位市長係明白我哋大家嘅需要，尊重多元文化，尊重我哋少數族裔，同時咧全心全意為我哋多倫多嘅市民去服務。咁呢位市長係最佳人選啦，就係我哋在座呢位 George Smitherman。咁George，he will be our best choice for the next mayor of Toronto. So for a better Toronto, for a Toronto that works again. So let us give George our votes next Monday.
Ni hao, I'm Smitherman, and I'm so pleased to welcome all of you here today, and especially to thank those, Justin and Helen and Yanis, for lending support to my campaign. And it's great to have Sarah Thompson here. Since she came and endorsed my candidacy several weeks ago, she has been an inspiration to me because instead of just lending her name, she has lent her incredible energies. And during the campaign, her dedication to Toronto was clear. And I want to say that in the presence especially of Justin and Helen and Yannis and others that were supporters of Rocco Rossi, that today I had an opportunity to talk about the city's economic development. There are many, many areas where Rocco's campaign really helped to emphasize issues that are so crucial to Toronto and where his views and mine were very closely aligned. And making the most of diversity as part of an economic development strategy. Having a city government that plays well with other parts of the region were things that Rocco spoke passionately about and which we agree on substantially. And then I'm so privileged to enjoy your support. I know how hard, and Sarah knows how hard other candidates have worked. And it's always a difficult decision when your own campaign or when the campaign you're working on does not have prospects for success, to make a decision to come and support another candidate. Because everybody's a little bit tired, it would be just as easy to go home. But instead that you have remained dedicated to your city and that you see me as someone who can build on the energy of your campaigns means a great deal to me. And the privilege that you show me in the form of your endorsement and your confidence is one that I will seek to repay through my efforts every single day. I'm running to be the mayor of Toronto because I believe Toronto's best days lie yet ahead. That Toronto can re-emerge as the engine of the Canadian economy. And the way to do this is that we must not just use the expression diversity our strength. We must find the way to make diversity more of an economic strength of Toronto. We must do that by using the skills and the expertise of newcomer communities more effectively. And we must also use the relationships that are available to us of people who call Toronto home, who work here and live here and travel the world. We must turn them into ambassadors on behalf of Toronto. Today I have launched a new economic platform which has many elements to it. A tax freeze for next year to make our businesses more competitive. A $10 million fund to support youth employment. A program that is designed to create a green energy district in Toronto so that we can have more employment in the growing area of clean tech and the green economy. I have a plan to create a renewed economic development department at the City of Toronto that is better able to focus on some particular sectors. But one of the things that I think we must do to leverage the diversity and to make this diversity our strength more real is to create at least 500 ambassadors. These would be developed by working with the business associations that already exist, like the Toronto Chinese Business Association, like the Canada-Indo Business Association, the Portuguese and Italian, all across the diverse landscape of the City of Toronto. Business organizations have developed that are ethnocultural specific. And within those we know there are powerful individuals who are already traveling the world on their own behalf. We will work with those organizations to create 500 ambassadors who, as they go about their work, will also carry messages on behalf of the City of Toronto, will promote the City of Toronto, and working with Invest Toronto will give us some insights and some leads into those prospective investors in the City of Toronto. It's no good just to have your motto, diversity our strength. It is our obligation to turn the diversity, which is a cultural strength, into a greater economic strength. When we do this, Toronto will be unstoppable. We will emerge as a global center for business, as the place where businesses from around the world can locate, knowing that no matter whether they're working at the same time in Russia, Brazil, India, and China, that Toronto is a place where you can easily find well-educated people who speak the languages, understand the culture, and already have relationships to countries as diverse as the world is. That is the strength of Toronto, but we have not realized our full potential. Our program to create 500 ambassadors is one more piece of the puzzle. to allow Toronto to re-emerge stronger than ever. I'm running for mayor because I believe Toronto's best days lie yet ahead. That we have all of the potential here. Amazing neighborhoods, beautiful natural environment, and the gift of the most diverse and best educated people to be found anywhere in the face of the earth. It is our responsibility to take advantage of those gifts and to turn it into economic advantage for the people of the city of Toronto. I want to thank Francis and Greg and all of you who have come here. And I especially want to make an appeal to the Chinese Canadian community, to the Chinese voters in Toronto. You have the power. You have the power. On Monday, you have the power to make a decision. What kind of Toronto do you want? I ask you to elect a mayor who has a deep respect for the Chinese community, who will never make the mistake of using derogatory expressions to characterize the hard-working communities that are so well represented by the Chinese community in the city of Toronto. And especially to elect a mayor who will make you proud every single day. And I think there is one thing that I would like to identify as a priority that I want to work on after the election with the broad Chinese community. In Toronto, we know that we celebrate some festivals, and some are bigger than others. But there is no reason why Toronto cannot have the most extraordinary celebration of Chinese New Year. I want to bring together all of the potential that we have in Toronto to create a dynamic new event that will attract visitors from around the world, but especially will be a cause for celebration for the very extraordinary contributions of the substantial and powerful Chinese community that already exists here in Toronto. This is one thing that I want to work on with all of you, and I know that we can get it done together. So I really want to thank you for coming together today and encourage people. Use your power on Monday. What kind of a Toronto do you want? I want to be a mayor that makes diversity our strength and economic strength for the citizens of Toronto, and I want to work with the community to make that happen. Thank you so very much.
Any questions from the media?
You're making my work too easy. Okay, well, we'll accept that. I think that means
I'm going to take one opportunity to make a personal message. And that message is about trust.